Okay, so I am a huge fan of Horrified, and I'm a huge fan of Dungeons and Dragons. So when this came out, I was pretty excited. This was an insta-buy. So does it live up to it? Let's see. Okay, so Horrified Dungeons and Dragons kind of goes all about that IP of Dungeons and Dragons, promising us some brand new monsters and monsters that we've seen before, and how are they going to be incorporated in the in the Horrified universe. So I'm going to tell you what I think, but first, let's see how it's played. Okay, so here we are with Horrified D&D here. Now, again, I'm not going to go into how to play Horrified. The system is fairly the same. I'm just going to show you what is new and what is different in this. First off, this is the Horrified D&D kind of board here. If you play D&D, you're going to recognize a lot of this thing, like this entire thing. You've got water deep and then under mountain. You're going to have the yawning portal up here. You're going to have a Hall of Heroes. You have different stairways down here to arcane chambers. You have different teleportation circles I'll go to in a moment. So a lot of things you're going to recognize on here. All right, first off, there are some portals and entryways in this. That does it may complicate the game a bit for you. But anyway, so here, the yawning portal, the well, this will then go to the entry well. So it goes from here to down here. And then you're going to see different teleportation circles. Here, here, here. So you can kind of jump around the board, and it kind of makes travel easier. All right, also you've got different places here like this, Castle Corkscrew. You will then take this, if you go in this, you're going to go to the Skullport Gate, all right, which is all the way down here. So that's another way to jump across the board faster, and kind of makes, although there's a lot going on, they attempt to make the board smaller for you to kind of go from one place to another. And you also got some layer tokens here. To discover them, you have to discard some items, and then these are mainly important if you fight the Dread Dragon, because his layer is you. So we're going to get to those monsters in a moment. First off, let me show you the cards, the artwork in here. See if I can get this to focus on this. Here we go. Here are the different cards right here. They use the same kind of iconography that the last edition did, World of Monsters. So they kind of make that future-proof and things. You've got the frenzy, then also you have the icons on the monsters to see if they're going to activate or not. So everything goes here. You've got your citizens that come out. You've got the items you pull. Everything right here. And then the artwork on here is very, very D&D. I like a lot of these. Move each hero 3 locations toward the monster, this symbol closest to them. That is one thing that I'll probably mention in the review. Closest to them sometimes is hard to figure out because of so many portals and gates in here. But anyway, so these are, look at that. Look at the artwork. Anyway, I like the artwork on this. I think it's really nice. But again, I love that whole D&D feel. Look at that beholder. Come on, man. That's just awesome. So speaking of which, let's get to those big monsters in a moment. But, oh my goodness, Beholder. This one plays each shield monster in the closest location containing these items, then discard the highest strength item in that location. Man, that's nice. Anyway, all right, so those are the cards. One thing, the perk cards are going to be different shapes. These are kind of tarot card, well, look and shape right here. So these are the perk cards that aren't new to this, but this shape is a bit unique. So let's see here. During here, skip the next monster phase. Any number of heroes may be placed at the Yawning Portal tap room. All right, so these are pretty powerful. You will need to use these as you go forward. Let's go through the heroes. The heroes are right here. They're just standees on this. But the difference is these guys all have 4 actions. All the different heroes, the wizard, the cleric, rogue, bard, fighter. All right, but where they differ is going to be your special action. You get to roll a d20 right here. So you're going to roll a d20. And then whatever number you roll, you're going to get that ability. For example, the wizard, let's take a look at somebody else because I love the wizard. We'll get to him. So you roll a d20 and get this. Number 1, you get no effect. Then 2 through 8, during the monster phase, we roll 1 die with a hit or power result. And then 20, I love 20, during the monster phase, all monster attacks this turn only use 1 die. That's nice. And then you also gain a perk card. Every time if you roll a d20, you're going to gain a perk card. Take a look at the bard here. 2 through 8, move all citizens up to 2 locations towards you. Move monsters 2 locations away from you on a 16 through 19. Again, 20, move any citizen or hero to your location, gain a perk card. All right, so that's a special action on there. Now the wizard right here, take a look at this. 2 through 8, roll a d20, move any monsters to that location except the red dragon. Move the red dragon to a lair. All right, roll the d20, move any hero to that location on the 9 through 15. And right here, the teleportation, move to any location, gain a perk card. And here you can move any hero to any location. So the higher you roll, usually the more powerful the ability you're going to get out of it. Okay, let's go through the monsters here. There are 4 monsters, but it does kind of feel like 5 because the Red Dragon, like I said, has 2 different sheets. First off, Beholder. What you're going to do with him is you're going to go try to find him, and you're going to roll, and you're going to start to try to chop off these eye stalks and cover them with these X's one at a time. And once you cover all of them, then you're going to get a chance to defeat him. Now, what do these eye stalks do? His power here is to roll a d20, and if one of these is not cut off, he's going to use that ability. And you've got this over here, the reference card. For example, if he rolls a 10 or 11, any players with more than 2 items must discard down to 2 items. All right, so you're going to try to chop these off, cut all those eye stalks, and then finally, 6 to defeat him. Then we've got the Displacer Beast right here. At his location, you're going to go ahead and place an item below, and it has to be the strength of how many you cover here, so 1, 2, or 3. And once you have 5 of those, you can try to defeat him. So what happens there, when you go to defeat him, you're going to discard some items, 7 plus, roll the d20, and then whatever number you have, if it's covered up, then you defeat him, or 20 defeats him all the way. That's why you want to cover up more numbers, because you have more chances to actually beat him. Now, what's cool about his power here, he's going to then just move to the next closest hero. So he just kind of disappears and reappears at various places around the board. All right, so Mimic has its own kind of board that he stays on, goes in a circle here. At these points here, you're going to draw an item out of the item bag, and if everyone has that same color of item, then they discard it, and that will pull the Mimic off of this board onto the main board, and that is where you can attack him and defeat him. So you kind of have to lure him out. All right, then you've got the Red Dragon. Red Dragon is 2. First off, this right here is kind of a slide puzzle. You're going to try to move the orb from here to the exit. In order to do that, you discard items to move these pieces around, moving the orb all the way, and hopefully to the exit. And then you're going to try to lure the Red Dragon into his lair right here. So also, now his power is pretty good. Every hero and citizen in Red Dragon's location is hit. That's a pretty strong power. So anyway, so you're going to go to his hoard right here. And here what you're going to do is you're going to place an item on each of these different pillars here using an action and the orb there. And then you can attack the Red Dragon. And then you're going to roll a d20 and you add up the strength of all these, add them to your die roll. And if it's 20 or above, then you have defeated the dragon, which is why you want a high strength on these. So that is the way you defeat the Red Dragon. And in a nutshell, that is some of the monsters and what is new in Horrified Dungeons & Dragons. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it. All right, first off, my first play of this was rough. I did not like it at all the first play. And I think it was mainly because the board. The board I liked, but because I recognized a lot of the places, but then it was very convoluted on the portals and the gates and all that. I understand it was nice to be able to move around on the board, but I think what really got me was the fact that when it says move to the closest monster, sometimes that's hard to kind of navigate and count because there's so many different entry and exit points that it can go. Well, if you use that portal, it's only 3. If you use this one, it's 4. So that takes a bit. But once you wrap your head around that and the fact that the board is busier than most, it's good. I do like using those portals. Now, first off, let's talk about some of the cons of this. I don't like 2-board monsters. This one, they did the same thing with Cthulhu in the last one. And this one I do think is better than Cthulhu. I think it's a bit more simple. Cthulhu was just very over the top. But again, I don't really care for 2-board monsters. I hope that's not where they're going to keep going in the future. Whatever. But the Red Dragon is fine, not nearly as bad as think of that Cthulhu. All right, and then also the fonts. I even took a picture of the fonts on the monsters are fairly hard to read, but I think it's good. I know what they're going for, but that font is more difficult to read. And really, it sounds very negative, but those are the things that I haven't talked much about the gameplay. But layers. One more thing I'll say about layers is layers really only matter because of the Red Dragon. I think I mentioned it in the overview. But some other times they might mention layers or send you to a layer or whatever. But really, in setup, they're only there for the Red Dragon. Or like later, other games may end up using layer as well. So that's it. So Now, let's go through some of the pros. This is more difficult than other Horrifieds I found, which is completely fine. You know, this is, I think, more difficult, maybe more difficult to navigate the board and also to beat the monsters and things. It's more difficult, but I do enjoy that. That being said, these characters, man, I really like these characters. They really feel like what they're supposed to be, the bard, the fighter, the wizard. I love playing the wizard, be able to just move people from here to there. I didn't know if you add the die rolls to Horrified what I'd think, because adding that randomness to Horrified, I thought, I don't know, but for some reason it does work. It gives you that good feel. And also when you roll it, people are really watching and invested in what you're going to roll because your turn is not planned out. So many times in Horrified, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, this. Well, you can change it. If you roll really well on your turn, these actions are going to really, really ramp up. And then you have the chance, 1 in 20, of gaining a perk card. They're very powerful. And again, in this game, it's the same thing. But I do love the monsters. First of all, the sculpts are cool. Just to have these monsters that you recognize from all the different D&D games, whether it's the RPG or tabletop, be able to fight them on the board. Feels so good, man. The Displacer Beast just disappearing and reappearing elsewhere on the board. And I also like the way you defeat them by you can kind of drop those tiles and then go and roll the dice. Literally roll the dice to see, I hope I hit one of those sections I've hit. And the same with the Beholder, cutting those eye stalks and slowly you make him less and less powerful and less formidable until you can finally defeat him. I really like that. Now, again, I will say for the Horrified system, I wouldn't see them come out with kind of mini expansions with more monsters and more heroes that just add to the already universe they have here. But this right here, this Horrified, I really love this because this right here, as much as I complained about the little things, font, all that, gameplay-wise, I like it a lot, man. Because right here, it feels like you are taking a party of all unique abilities out there and trying to fight some of your favorite D&D monsters. Right? So that's what that feels really, really good. So anyway, I'm coming in at an 8 on this. I really enjoy Horrified D&D. Again, I'm a sucker for Horrified, but I think this is going to be my number 2. I still like the original one best. I think that can't be beat. But this one I think I would put right under that. So I think I'd have that one, then I like American Monsters as well. But this is great. If you love the D&D universe, you're going to get this. You're going to smile when you see a lot of these different cards come out. This is great. This is D&D. It's D&D meets Horrified. And then look at that cover. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is I'd like them to do a better rule book, but at least these are a bit more easy to understand. So anyway, if you like Horrified D&D, take a look at it. I'm Joey Evans, and I'll see you later on the channel.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.